What's going on? It's your boy HDK, and today I'm bringing you a tutorial that is going to change your life. And that being said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and ring that notification bell. If you have been having troubles investing into real estate and you don't know how to make it work, well, today's tutorial, it's about the BRRRR method, the BRRRR method. Now, the BRRRR method is interesting. Okay, there's a lot of information around it, and you guys are tuning in from Australia, I'm guessing. So there's a lot of noise, but you actually don't know if it applies to Australia or not. Let me tell you, it does apply to Australia. And today's tutorial is going to focus on how we actually do the BRRRR method here in Australia. Okay, now this video is going to be a quick video, just going to get an overview of what the BRRRR method is. And I'll be providing some more detail, but on that detail, there'll be more details to follow at the end of this video. So make sure you stay tuned till the very end. So jumping right into the video, the BRRRR method stands for buy, renovate, rent, refinance, and repeat. Okay, and I'm going to talk about some of the things, the tips and tricks on each step and what you need to look out for. So buy. Of course, does that mean we just go and buy any old property and just off we go with it? No. When you buy, you have to apply the adage, buy the worst house on the best street. That's the adage. If you buy the best house on the best street or best house on a street, you are going to be having no room for value add. The whole point of this exercise is to do what's called value add. Okay, we're going to add value to the property, and when you add value, you get rewarded for it with what's called a premium. Okay, you're going to get a premium for it. Because the next step is renovate, we need to make sure that the house has a lot of work to be done. So when you buy, because it is the worst house on the best street, you're going to have what's called less competition. Less competition means that you are going to pay really good price for this property. Okay, so the price is going to be really good. Okay, I'm going to throw a thumbs up like this. It's going to be really good price. All right, so let's say the property on average costs about $180,000. Very cheap property, I know, in today's market. But then let's say you were able to buy it at $150,000. Okay, not 180, but $150,000 because it's a slightly worse house. Let's go to the renovate section. Let's say something was a problem. Let's say the flooring needed work, it needed a new paint job, okay? And maybe it needed like a new kitchen or something. This being not the most expensive area, you tip in, say, about $10,000 worth of work, okay? Now, at the house that it used to be, we weren't actually able to rent it out, all right? But now that it's more habitable, now you're getting a rental return of about, let's say, $13,000 a year. Okay, $13,000 a year. That works out to roughly about $260 per week. Very good. Now, it may have been rentable beforehand, but now that you've been able to increase the rental on it, that's what it is right now. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go see your bank. Okay, you would have most likely borrowed, okay, 80% of 150. Okay, so that means 20% of it was your cost. Okay, 20% of it was, let's say, is actually 30,000. Okay, 30,000 is 20%, so that means you borrow 80% of it, which is $120,000. That's the bank. That's how much you tipped into this project here. Now, but because you have created this renovation, there's an uplift. That's what's called an uplift. And there's an uplift in income as well. The bank is now going to value, okay? Refinance comes with a valuation at $180,000. Okay? So then what we're going to do is under new valuation, the finance works out to be like this. You can then get $36,000, okay, is 20% of that, okay, and then you can now borrow, okay, $144,000. And then what that's going to do is that's going to pay off your previous loan at $120,000, and that's going to then leave you $24,000. Okay. Now, to buy your first house, so this house here, you had to put in the 20% at $30,000. But now that you've been given $24,000, you can add $6,000 of your money, which is a lot easier to add than $30,000 worth of money. And you are then going to do this again. Repeat. You are then going to repeat the process. And by doing so, your new income is at 144. Your new loan is 144,000. Let's say we calculate the interest at, let's say, 5%. Okay, that works out to be, I'm going to get the calculator up. Works out to be $7,200. $7,200. And from that $7,200, okay, what's going to pay for that is your rent, your annual rent here. So that is going to pay that off. Okay, then you're going to have a spare. Okay, then you're going to have a spare $5,800 coming in through the door every year, per year. Okay, which then can obviously then go towards that $6,000 there as well. So after a year, you can repeat that yourself, or you most likely have a job, which was what approved you for a loan in the first place. So that's how the BRRR method works. Now, there are tips and tricks as to how these things work. For example, how do you know that the renovation is going to cost you exactly $10,000? How do you know whether or not to invest more or invest less? How do you know what kind of uplift is going to be appropriate for the market you are in right now? How do you know by doing that your rent is going to increase up to $260 per week and it's going to give you this kind of income per year? And how do you know, right? What are the tips and tricks for you to understand that this is the price that you can acquire the property at, and this is the price that the property will become after you've done your renovations? And also importantly, once you've got all of this done, how do you know that that's the amount of money that's going to come into your pocket, and therefore you can get the best interest rates that are available in the markets? These are the tips and tricks that you will need to refine if you want to do this right and you want to increase the gap that you have in your bottom line. And of course, how do we then repeat it? How do we then keep going with this process so that we can then replicate this strategy? Do we keep the same job? Do we keep doing the same thing, the same kind of property in the same kind of market? How do we then find more and more of these opportunities so that you don't just stop at making $24,000 and then another $6,000 on top? Like it's got to be more than this, and that's why we do property, because it is repeatable. Now, guys, I have a course that's coming up. We're not pre-selling the course. But before pre-selling, I think I have a lot of knowledge to share with all of you guys, where you guys can get rich with very, very little money. A lot of young people, I've got a lot of hope for you. It's been possible for me, and it doesn't take a very intelligent person to do this either. So I'd like to share that knowledge with you. I'm not even selling the course yet. It's not even on pre-sale, but if you are interested, please leave a comment below saying real estate, and that way I will know that how to service you guys better. There are so many things that we need to talk about with each of this BRRRR strategy. And of course, I've also started a podcast recently with Charlie Ayler. Some of you might recognize him. Not only is he a pretty good looking bloke, but he's actually a very, very knowledgeable guy in the investment space. Just like me, he's another young bloke that's given it a crack and actually come out really, really successful here in this Australian market. So if you're an Australian young person that wants to make money with property, please do tune into our podcast. It is called Young Money Hackers. It'll be launching very soon. And so please stay tuned for that. If you haven't done so, make sure to go like, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so that you can stay updated with at least the free resources that I have the pleasure to share with you on this channel. And of course, with that being said, thanks for tuning in. See you next time.